Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm here on a Saturday, and as you might can hear in a bit and through this video, it is windy as heck outside. First order of business before I really get to any kind of project is cleaning up my shop a little bit. It's kind of a mess. I just kind of learned how to, step here, step there, do that nonsense, but I got so many projects going on with this Honda 4-cylinder, these two V8s over here, really just the one V8, the L33, just cleaning up stuff, and of course the BMW. Always something going on. I really need to keep this place more tidy, and so I can kind of do better work in here and not feel so stressed out, I guess. I've got this little TV from inside that I just replaced today with a larger TV, so I get to put this somewhere in here just to kind of have for now. So kind of happy to be in the shop today, although I've been lacking the energy and drive to really do much. It seems to be the case with me. I don't know why, it just is at times, and I hate that about myself. So I'm just forcing myself to get in here and start doing some work and getting going. So let's get this started. I always tell myself to get more shelves and tables to keep things off the floor, but you know what? I just don't listen to myself, and this is what happens. I end up having way too many things, parts and pieces and tools and whatnot, scattered across my garage floor, which causes me to not want to do much work because, well, you have to step this way and that way and get over things. So cleaning up the shop is the first order of business to keep this place going and keep myself interested in working. I want to lift this up in the air. I bought an engine stand at Harbor Freight, second one, because I have this one, and I need to get that mounted up so I can rotate it and start taking the oil pan off and all that jazz. I think the first order of business here is getting this engine stand assembled, so let's take this out of the box and get it going. I picked up this engine stand at Harbor Freight the other day with a 10% off coupon, which made this $90. I've been pretty happy with the one that I currently have, which has my 4-cylinder Honda engine on it that I'm building. So I said, why not pick this one up so I can build it, get it together, and put this V8 5.3 LS engine on it. So here we are. It went together really quickly, really easily. Then I went back, of course, and tightened everything down. Well, would you look at that, a new engine stand, and it only took 30-some seconds. Whew, I'm quick at this. Nah, it took about, I don't know. It didn't take long. It was honestly like 5 minutes. I had this thing together. I was pretty pleased. Decent quality. It did just fine on the other one I have, so I'm sticking with this little 1,000-pound Pittsburgh guy I got for $100. I was an idiot and had a $50 gift card too, and I totally forgot to even use it today. Oh well, I guess that just means I get to go to Harbor Freight again. Big shout out to my good friend Eric for letting me borrow / kind of have this engine hoist here. This has come in real handy for stuff like this and all the work I do with engines and parts now. Now this is just great. I knew this engine was going to have some issues. It's currently draining. And look at that. Yeah, those are roller bearings, I believe. Not exactly sure what they came from, but there's a lot of crap in this engine, so this will be a fun tear down. We'll see if it's even worth saving, really. While the oil's draining, I need to pull off this flywheel harmonic balancer, and all I have is this cheap little 2-prong puller. A 3-prong would be better for this, and one that's actually, kind of suited for this, but I'm going to make do and see if I can pull this thing off. Yeah, this tiny little job here is just not going to cut it. I need a beefier 3-prong puller for this. And while I'm at it, might as well get this main seal cover off with these 12 10 millimeters. That was dumb. Alright, got them all off. Now I'll get a little pry bar and pry this thing off here. Well, these are the times I feel like a real idiot. I did not expect to see a bolt coming from down low on either side connected to this timing cover, not timing cover, main seal cover. So that's my bad. There's another 2 tins, one there and one there. Let's get that off. I rented a 3-jaw puller here from my local O'Reilly's. Super nice. It's literally 2 minutes down the road. And then I had to go to lovely old Ace Hardware and pick up a few bolts. Cost me $4.19 a piece. Ridiculous. There's no reason it should cost this much. Let's go over here and see. It's the longest ones they had. Hopefully it gives me enough threads. Hey, it should. Perfect. That's great. All right, so I'll need to get some washers and the like, but that will do just fine to fit into the block. It's freezing in here, and I really should have taken my empty tank to go get filled. So I'm probably not going to work in here too long. I'm going to try and get this harmonic balancer off and get the engine on the stand. Yeah. All right, come on, baby. Awesome. That's definitely working. That's great. So I ended up having to use one of my head bolts to just pop the little bit that was left hanging on there off, and it worked just fine and didn't damage the bolt or anything. So win there. Need to go return this because I'm done with this for now. This is a pretty straightforward job here. You just lift up the engine with the hoist and start to put the 4 bolts into the block. Now I put 2 in and the other 2 weren't fitting super well. You just have to maneuver some things, and you might see here I also have to just lift up the engine block just a bit and then tighten them all down. They fit just fine. Sweet. The 5.3 is on the engine stand, ready to be torn apart further. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the timing cover off and then probably flip it over and take the oil pan off and take it from there. Look how sloppy this chain was. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Woo! Man, I'm glad I'm tearing this thing apart now. Holy cow. That's one sloppy timing chain.
I know. It's a fun cult over there. It's really weird. When you break out of the cult, yeah. But yeah, it's great to see you guys do it. You guys have fun. Best interview tonight. Phil, Blankenship, Freddie.
You can say Freddie. The Mad Parts Kawasaki.
Freddie Norm. Best interview tonight, Eric.
myself, you know what, Colin, you should wear gloves. And then I don't. They just freaking get in the way. Then they tear and they're like, well, I gotta replace them, take them off. And they get dirty and they're trying to touch your phone or whatever you're trying to do. And oh, you gotta take them off and put another pair on. It's just annoying. So I don't mind getting my hands dirty as long as I can get them clean. Here's some jingling and jangling in there. Oh yeah, you want to see this? Let's see if this will show up on camera, okay? Woo! That is gross. And there's metal bits and crap in here. Oh my. This is gonna be a fun one. Look at this bottom end here. The oil pan is just disgusting. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice little metal piece there. There's a roller bearing there. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Let's get this pickup off. And then I can get this oil pump off and all that jazz, and yeah, just keep on going. Sorry for the crazy amount of sunshine there. It gives it a pretty cool look. For this job, I picked up my trusty Milwaukee impact driver, a 12mm I believe, and started to go to town on this oil pan windage tray, and also got the oil pump off, and then you want to get that pickup tube off. Everything came off really easily, and honestly, this Milwaukee impact driver has saved my butt so many times. I love it. This was really dark. Very, very dark. I'll turn it over a little bit and see what I can see. It's time for another day in the shop working on my 5.3 LS L33 over here. Gotta take the main caps off. I gotta take the rods and pistons out, and I still need to get this cam plate off with some star bits that I don't currently have or can't find them. So gotta get that done, and then the block will be ready to be deep cleaned and checked out thoroughly. I'll also probably get to checking out these cylinder heads a little bit more. I've been cleaning them up. I'm gonna really deep clean them as best as I can, check them out, make sure that they are okay, because they are the infamous Castech heads that are known, the 706 Castechs and 862s that are known to crack and have a lot of issues. So I want to use them if I can because they're great compression ratio for what I'm going for. I think it'll get me about 10.5 to 1 on this L33. So let's get to it. Let's get to work on this LS here. Let's take off these rod caps, and then we can get the pistons and rods out of this thing. It's time to get those caps off of the rods here. So I grab my breaker bar and a 13mm, I believe, because just a normal ratcheting wrench was not doing the trick. So this breaker bar really comes in handy for this. So I just break them all loose. I do not undo them all yet. I just want to break them loose and then start to tap the rod and piston out. So I'm disassembling this thing, and I've taken 2 pistons out so far. Thought I'd take a break here and just take a more detailed look at what we got. Here's one of the bearings. Doesn't look great, but doesn't look awful. The pistons I mean, just normal wear is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anything crazy here. So I'm happy so far. The crank looks actually really good. And I can tell there's no ridges where the bearings are. So that's a good sign. Little quick tip, when you're going to take out the rods, of course unscrew the cap bolts and then thread them back in slightly, and if you see maybe on the time lapse, just smack it pretty gently with something and it'll kind of knock it loose, and then you take out the cap and then you push the rod and piston all the way out. I want to continue with this time lapse and get these things out of here. To get the pistons and rod combo out, all you need is a socket, an extension to get the rod bolts and caps off with the bushing, and then a soft mallet. So you're going to want to hit one side of the rod a little bit and then hit the other side and just kind of walk it down the bore fully until all 8 pistons and rods are out of the bore. Pistons and rods are out, and my gosh, does this thing spin smoothly. I'm real tempted to not even pull this crank, honestly. It's always a battle between doing like a quick revival of an engine or a full-blown tear down rebuild of the engine. So here's the pistons. They are messy, and I would definitely replace, at least I think I would, the rod bearings, bushings. They're not great, but I can't say they're awful. I've seen worse, but I've of course seen better, brand new. So I think it would benefit me to just at least get new rod bushings. Are they bushings or are they bearings? Bearings are, you know, roller bearings, ball bearings to me. These are bushings. They don't do anything. They just sit there. It's just metal with a coating on it. Anyways, to pull or not to pull? I might get my dial indicator out, set it up, and check the end play, and just check it out a little bit further before I decide whether or not to pull it. Decisions. But, oh, I did find some Torx or Star bits that might just fit. Might be too small, I'm not sure, but I would like to get this out and pull that cam, see if it's trashed. I got my dial indicator out, which, funny enough, is the first time I've used this one that I bought quite a while ago. Really nice magnetic base, as Schar's brand. I've already zeroed the dial indicator here on the end of the crankshaft, pushing it all the way in. Now what I need to do is push on that end and see what kind of reading I get here. So let me grab a little something. What should I grab? Just maybe like a big flathead or something, or honestly just my hand. Let's see how I can do this. Alright, this should be a cool angle. Alright, I'm just going to use my hand first to push and see what kind of movement. Okay, so that's given me 3.5. I'm bad at reading these dial indicators, so 1 notch means 0.001 inch, so it's 0.003 of an inch pretty much into play. Back to 0. Right at about 4. I think it's right at about 4. Cool. Now I have a reference, I know what it is, I can kind of check and make sure it's in spec. I have this ball hone that I've never used before. I bought with intent to actually do the Honda engine here, but I ended up going a different route and actually getting it machined and bored over and yada yada. Anyways, I have this ball hone. It's a little loose in there, but I'm gonna try it out because the cylinders need some work. I can feel some ridges on some of them, which is not great. And I just want to see what it's going to do. So I'm going to do that very lightly, a very quick pass, just to see what's there. Got the ball hone and the drill here. I need to put some oil down this cylinder, and then I need to coat the ball hone with some oil as well, just to be on the safe side. And that's it. Wow. Okay. And I know this won't show up well on the GoPro. The GoPro sucks for this kind of stuff, but wow, it put a nice cross hatching on it. Can still feel those ridges down there going this way. I'm probably gonna hit it again, just try it. All right, let's try this cylinder here. I just did the second one, and it came out really nicely. I just did a kind of a longer pass on it. So we'll see how this guy turns out. I think I can do this with the GoPro in the way. Let's see. Super close to my hand. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Cool. It looks like I got those ridges on almost all of these cylinders. But I'm gonna do it anyways, just to see if it's worth saving or I should really get it machined. Grabbing some oil, I put them in the bore and then grab my drill and flex hone combo and go to work on these cylinders here. Now, they all have vertical scratching in them, which is not the best thing in the world. However, for a junkyard build, I think I can get away with this with just a light hone job, even though the scoring and vertical scratching do remain. I do get a good cross hatch going here, which I might need to refine later. For this job, for the pistons, getting all this carbon off the tops, all I do is grab my pretty high-powered drill, lock it into on position with a wire wheel, and start going to town on the tops of them. That's all I touch. I don't really touch anything else but the tops of them for now. Later I will soak them in a bath of water and a ton of purple power, along with a bunch of other parts. With the cylinder honing out of the way, I now grab my bore gauges to check each cylinder to see if they're within service limits. I also grab my digital calibers, which are not ideal, but they'll get me through until I can get a good pair of micrometers. So the stock bore size on this 5.3 LS is 96 millimeters, I believe, right at that, 3.68 inches or something. I did the math just a bit ago. I used my snap bore indicators. Gosh, I can't speak. I can't remember the exact tool name. Anyways, I used these and I checked all the bores, and then I used my digital calibers, and up until this very last cylinder here, everything this way and this way, I did it twice. I could do more if I want to at different depths, whatever, but they all came out to this way. I was getting measurements of 95.9798 millimeters usually, and this way it was almost always right at about 96, which is interesting. I honestly thought it would wear, I would see more wear and tear this way than that way. So that's interesting. But I'm pleased with those numbers. I need to, of course, consult a manual and specs and all that, and then also measure up the pistons and see what they measure and see what that piston to wall clearance is. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Thank you for your support. If you haven't already, I would love if you would consider subscribing to me and sharing, liking, doing all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, catch you later.